14 and a half years ago, I bought an ocarina at a convention, and then I started playing that ocarina in subsequent years at that convention. One year, David was at that convention. We met, we became friends, and then 2 years later, he was like, Andy, I'm assembling a team, and the rest is history. The ocarina has been a catalyst for a lot of my personal growth, not necessarily like directly for my personal growth, but so many major changes in my life happened directly or indirectly because of the ocarina. 2017, I joined Ocabanda because I played the ocarina. Then in 2020, I started posting ocarina education videos on YouTube and sort of established myself as a content creator, albeit in a micro niche. And then in 2020, at the end of the year, I got my first corporate job because they liked my YouTube videos. Funnily enough, my being a musician led to me making YouTube videos, which led to basically everything professionally that's happened in my life. So if you tie everything back to my life to one major catalyst, it's buying my first ocarina in 2011. I think I take the ocarina a lot more seriously now compared to when I was just playing songs I liked in my room for hours a day and annoying my family to no end. I discovered that I have a lot more musical capability in me than I ever thought I had, playing much more difficult music than I ever would have thought to play on the ocarina. Playing the ocarina when I was like a teenager, I was like, I'm gonna play the songs from Zelda, yeah. And then growing into a much more competent musician playing the ocarina, I've seen a lot more musical growth in myself. I had major imposter syndrome the first few Ocabanda outings, and by this point I really just feel like I'm good enough to be here, and I'm really happy to be here. Two memories I had with Ocabanda were in MagFest 2018 when there was like 70 musicians in one hotel room all jamming out to music. We were playing until like 1 or 2 a.m. until a noise complaint shut us down, but that was so fun. Second memory, in MagFest 2019, we had our main stage performance and I was emceeing. That performance was also a catalyst for so many other things, like meeting a bunch of creators who I looked up to very shortly after. Hanging out and jamming in the hallways afterward and sort of like celebrating what we accomplished was really something special, and that'll stick with me for the rest of my life. The ocarina community outside of like East Asia and Italy is much more disparate, and there's a lot less backing it than in other places where it's more established. Like for example, you can I think in South Korea, you can literally get a degree in ocarina, whereas nothing like that exists in the United States. And I think even though we haven't necessarily pushed the instrument forward worldwide, I think it really means that we are pushing the ocarina forward in America and really showing that we have built something. By supporting this project, you are helping the American ocarina community make it to the world stage, which is something that's never happened before. There's never been an ocarina septet from the United States that has performed outside the United States. And to me, as well as everybody else in the group, you are validating a project that we've been passionate about for nearly a decade that has been really, frankly, difficult for us to put on because the ocarina community in the US is so disparate and spread out. We only get to perform together once every couple years because when we were all teenagers or young adults, we had much less responsibility. We were able to meet like multiple times a year and do our ocarina thing. But now all of us have jobs, some of us are married, and it's a lot harder when life gets bigger. Our ability to commit to Ocabanda gets smaller, so it makes it harder and more, frankly, financially strenuous for us to do these bigger things. And this is the biggest thing we've ever done, and probably the biggest thing we'll ever do. And I would love for you to be a part of it.